Welcome to Phillipsburg Mall, whose slogan is, "Come see what's in store." Well, I came and I'm still trying to figure that out. As a dead mall enthusiast, though, perhaps I'm getting more out of it than most people would. Phillipsburg Mall opened in 1989 after 2 years of delays to the project. Its original anchors were Hess's, which became Bon-Ton from 1994 to 2018, Kmart, which became a Kohl's in 2003, JCPenney, which closed in 2014, becoming Black Rose Antiques and Collectibles in 2017, and Sears, which never became anything else and simply closed in February of 2018. The mall was located off Route 22 in Lapacong, New Jersey, adjacent to the actual town of Phillipsburg. The mall was said to have opened with 75 stores and had as many as 90, with plans to have up to 120. Various out-parcel restaurants have come and gone over the years, presently being Panera, Chick-fil-A, Friendly's, Taco Bell, and Starbucks. One of the biggest problems facing Phillipsburg Mall is competition in the immediate surrounding area. Retailers like Walmart, Target, Best Buy, Marshalls, Hobby Lobby, and numerous restaurants have been built in the past decade in areas very close to the mall. It's centered between larger and more successful malls such as Bridgewater Commons in Somerville, New Jersey, and Lehigh Valley Mall in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Phillipsburg Mall opened in 1989 with much fanfare after a 2-year delay in construction. It would only enjoy a decade of prosperity before a slow and subtle death spiral turned it into a rapidly failing dead mall, which sits upon a valuable piece of real estate. As of mid-2018, PhillipsburgMall.com lists 39 stores, of which 5 are out-parcel restaurants, 2 or 3 are permanently closed, 2 are anchors, and 1 is a transit bus terminal, which only leaves about 28 active stores, with a vacancy rate of about 2/3 for the entire mall. The mall's original iconic feature was a large and happening food court along the backside. The food court area was repurposed into an H&M in 2001, and some people say that it was actually this move that heralded the one-way decline that the mall has suffered ever since. My personal memories of this mall began in the 1990s and actually included stores such as a hobby store that is long gone, I don't even remember the name of it, the KB, the Suncoast Video, EB Games, Radio Shack, Walden Books, and Sears. There were a few good computer stores that came and went. I bought some of my original computers there, including a Windows XP machine. But unfortunately, as soon as these stores began to leave the mall, so did I. And by the 2000s, 2010s, Phillipsburg Mall became a place that I kind of forgot about. As far as what's ultimately going to happen to this place, I'm kind of on the fence about what I'd like to see done. I mean, I'd like to see it revived, but, unfortunately there's very little hope, and, these dead malls are just going to continue dying, and the ones that are succeeding are the ones that have actually ventured out into new things and, created community centers and the other things that, actually draw people in that are not really, strictly retail. So, I actually wouldn't mind if they partially demolished the building. Of course, I'd, enjoy taking photos of that, but, it's a really good plot of land, and, it's full of potholes in the parking lot and, vacant stores that it's like maybe the building is just obsolete also. So, I'd like to see either a large anchor come in that's totally unique, or just have the land cleared and, maybe something more like the promenade shops like in Center Valley, Pennsylvania, where stores are a little more disjointed and there's a lot of sidewalk space between them. And so while there is actually a lot of models of failed malls out there, if you start to really look around, you're beginning to see ones that have successfully, risen from the ashes, not necessarily as malls, but as, repurposed buildings. Others, have simply just been demolished completely. But, there's beginning to be a lot of examples of, what can you do with a dead mall. So as far as the fate of this place, it hasn't been decided. It comes up in the news once in a while, but it's not heavily talked about in the area. I sometimes catch a lot of flack when I do suggest that, why don't you just demolish the thing? Some people don't like hearing that, but what are you going to do with a dead mall? I mean, it's a huge plot of land. The mall itself is almost 600,000 square feet, and when 2/3 of that is vacant, you're wasting a lot of land, and obviously the municipality probably would like to see businesses come in there. So, I'm sorry if demolishing it is not a popular opinion, but in some regards, I unfortunately think that that's what's going to have to happen here, and it might actually be the only thing that's going to succeed. There's also an unsubstantiated rumor that Old Navy might be leaving the mall. There's also somebody who said that Kohl's might be looking for a place to relocate, but I can't really imagine that Kohl's would, jump out of a mall. That's kind of where they are. Interestingly enough, if you actually look at one of these still photos that's in this video, it's of the exterior of the Kohl's on the front side, and somebody didn't have very much forethought as far as the things that they planted in front of that, because the Kohl's sign itself is actually covered and obscured by trees that they never trimmed back, which in some ways kind of goes to show the maintenance of this mall is, a little substandard. Don't get me wrong, it's nice inside and clean, but almost every store is either boarded up or just shuttered in a way. One thing is interesting about this mall is that, some malls, when they close a store, they basically board it up with drywall. This mall actually kind of keeps their spaces, for the most part, lit and opened. I don't know if they leave the lights on for any reason in particular, but the old Deb, the old FYE, Sears, a lot of these anchors you'll actually see are still lit up as you watch this video. Bonton is one that is completely shuttered, though you can't see inside, so sorry I couldn't get any shots of that. In early 2018, some proposals began to come out about the future of Phillipsburg Mall. Some of them actually call for partial demolition of the mall to create a mixed-use retail and community center, which would link to the 55-plus community that's being built adjacent to the north end of the property. Mason Asset Management, who currently owns the mall, told WFMZ-TV that options are being considered for the mall's future and include redevelopment, joint venture, or sale. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I enjoyed filming it. It was over 3 different sessions. I went from April, May, and June of 2018 on 3 different occasions. That's why there's snow in some of the early photos of the Sears end, and there's trees have leaves on them by the time the video comes to an end. The mall is so long that you might think that, a whole season will pass by the time you walk from one end to the other. It is just a gigantic corridor. But anyway, this is the state of the mall as of June of 2018. You can come out and visit the mall. It's open, 7 days a week. If you like dead malls and you're in the area, this is a very easy one. It's easy in, easy out. And, if you're going to do any filming, they do have security officers walking around. I was not bothered by any of them, but I did try to avoid them, just in case. So I hope you enjoyed this, and subscribe, and maybe you'll see another dead mall in the future.